Welcome to the 2 D's and an F podcast with your hosts,
Jess and Megan.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome.
Super fun.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
I'm excited to...
Probably going to get pretty dirty in here.
So excited. Yeah, buckle up. Buckle up, everyone. I'm excited to have just an hour of uninterrupted conversation with you.
Yeah, doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And cocktails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Megan, my best friend in the whole world, who
Aw.
also happens to be my cousin, is here.
Pretty convenient, isn't it?
So convenient.
You have to like me because we're family.
That's right. I'm obligated to like you, the good and the bad. But yeah, so we have a couple cocktails and we're here to talk about, Megan's story. She's been all over the country and she's been involved in some interesting things, to say the least. And, buckle up, everyone, because we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the dirty, sex. The one subject that everybody wants to hear about, but not everyone is comfortable talking about. And it just so happens to be one of my favorite subjects on the planet. And
So we're dishing it.
we are dishing it. So, Megan, I heard you had a little run-in with the FBI.
Running.
You're so badass. So why don't you go back to the beginning and just tell us your story from the start?
Sure. Well, try to make it as succinct as possible. It was a really long time ago. I graduated high school and very quickly moved to the Bay Area, specifically Berkeley. Didn't know a single person except for the two dudes that I was staying on their couch, which is, I guess, what you do when you're 18.
So you were 18,
Yep.
and you just made the conscious decision to move from the Lehigh Valley to San Francisco.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just you said peace out. Bye.
Yeah. Randomly picked an occupation that was massage therapy. I've been doing it happily ever since. It's extremely rewarding. I tell people that it chose me. Other than that, I don't have a great story for it. I just picked a place and a thing to do and did it and went all the way with it. So yeah, stayed on some dudes' couches and, like I said, didn't know anybody. One of my classmates in massage school told me that I should go to this event. Turns out that it was an event for a cult. It was like an introduction, friendly, innocent introduction to what I didn't realize was a cult. And they asked me to move in with them. Still didn't know it was a cult. And
We're still piecing it together. We don't know what happened.
I'm still piecing it together. Holy shit. And so all of a sudden I'm living in this house that probably had, I sometimes still count it, like there were so many random rooms. I want to say there were like 10 rooms in this house that seriously, they were like closets that you could just barely fit a bed in. And that's where a lot of people lived, in one house. And walking through the halls one night would hear like some sex noises, and then I realized that a lot of the bedrooms were making some sex noises.
All
Like,
simultaneously.
All of the bedrooms were making sex noises, and I was like, wow, haven't heard this before, don't know what's going on, and started piecing it together and realized that that it was a very common occurrence.
So you were, let's say, having breakfast with everyone the next morning, and you were just like, hey guys, by the way, I realized that everyone was having some really great sex last night.
No, I was 18 and
So you didn't ask anybody. You didn't ask
confrontation
questions.
was not something that you do when you're 18.
So you just went along with it.
Yeah, you just go along with it, and you're like, yeah, I'm cool. Everything's cool.
I'm cool.
Yeah, you're cool. I'm cool. So, yeah, and I just think like one thing led to another, and then I was just in this cult, and it was fun. It was exciting. There were a lot of people that I really loved. They grew to be my best friends, and like I said, didn't know anybody, so they were my chosen family of sorts. We had holidays together. We saw each other in our worst times and our best times, and it just became the new norm for me.
So men, women of all ages.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all ages. The funny thing is, it was mostly like older. The older crowd. There was actually a lot of people that came from other cults, which used to be more popular in the 60s. So if that kind of gives you an idea of the age. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So like, to drop some names, there was like Landmark, that used to be called Est. There was, I want to say, well, there's something called the Moore House, which is Victor Barranco. You guys can like look this up if you want to. I think it's pretty interesting. And yeah, all these houses had all purple houses. So if you're in like a major city and you see a house that's all purple, it could very likely be something called the Moore House. Yeah, which would also be a sex cult, because those houses they're not allowed to be painted purple unless they follow specific rules that are followed. So yeah, very interesting. So yeah, the age range was older, definitely, and then a year or so went on, and it was kind of my commitment to the group was questioned, and then I also like simultaneously got inspired to include people that were my age. So I would go to a lot of colleges in the area and recruit, essentially.
So you were asked to do this, to bring new product in, I want to say?
Oh, no. We had the product, more like recruits, like money.
Got it.
Yeah. Just people, voices, the profit that people bring, which is like their mouths. They talk about it and they get involved, and that brings in more money, essentially.
Got it.
That's how it goes.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was asked, yeah, but it was more like, I don't know, essentially manipulated, is what I'm realizing, like kind of, like dared to do, to recruit people. And yeah, like, don't you want to be the biggest version of yourself? Don't you, like, all the things that you want, that you deep down you want to be?
Well, as an 18-year-old woman, yeah, aspirations, and you want to be accepted, and you want to be included, and
exactly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it was definitely, people were feeding off of it. So that inspired me to do this. So I recruited a lot of people that were my age. Started like a subgroup of the cult, and yeah, it was great. And then from there I made even more friends, and it was great, and they're still my friends to this day, and some of them unfortunately are still there. So they one thing led to another. They're basically in hiding now because they got caught doing some crazy stuff, and and so they don't talk to anybody anymore. And they live on a compound in Northern California.
What's the definition of a sex cult? Like, what really defines it? I mean, are there... I mean, what does it mean?
I mean, there's just basic principles that characterize the term cult. Basically, charismatic leader is a big one. You all follow the same philosophy, which is another one. I think those are the two biggest ones. And there was definitely that. There was a charismatic leader, for sure. And there were principles that we followed. And those were marked on day one. And also very innocent. Like, some of them were like, everybody wants to love and be loved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like their tagline, which is like, once you have a taste of the divine, you'll do anything to get it and nothing else will do. And it's just like very, you think back on it now and they're actually very broad statements. Like, of course, everyone wants to be loved. So it's really easy to get sucked into that because you do, like, deep down, you just want to be loved. You want to be accepted.
Oh, for sure.
And you want to be included. And yeah, I just think that it's easy to get sucked into it.
And San Francisco, to begin with, is a very sexual place.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very
I would say like open as far as like sexualities and
extremely open.
Very
there are very
open.
little boundaries for sure. And everybody moves there to under that unwritten rule that you're there to explore yourself. You're there to learn about yourself. You're there to open up, and anything goes.
Yeah. I went out there one time.
You sure did.
I didn't like get involved with any of that stuff. But I mean, you know, a young woman coming from the East Coast who has pretty much been sheltered her entire life, you know, flying out to the Bay Area and meeting all these new people who are intuitive and expressive and open, and like they were wild. They were wild. We do wild things here on the East Coast, you know, like bonfires and I don't know, shucking corn and shit. But, you know, you go out to the Bay Area and there are exploratoriums, and I think we toured an abandoned church.
Yes,
and
we did.
Yeah. And I think that for me was an eye-opener when I met one of your friends, and she was so touchy and so lovey, but in like the most acceptable way. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, she was hitting on me. And she kind of explained herself a little bit, you know, being like a sex coach, a sex therapist, right?
Yeah.
Being active in the bedroom with a couple, you know, no matter who it is, and just kind of guiding them through like their sexual experience to heighten their senses and making it more fun. Right?
Yeah, making it more fun. I think it's definitely used as a jumping off point to the rest of your life too. I think it I definitely learned a lot about how to just accept people no matter what, and people are going to do whatever they're going to do, and that's great and perfect, no matter what they decide, and that sexually, and that with whatever people choose is I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think it's just a jumping off point. And I think using the darkest, deepest, most vulnerable places in people, in their sexuality, is like, okay, if I can do this with my sexuality, I can do this with my career. I can do this with like that my mom that I have a hard time talking about because blah 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 happened. It's like, if you can do this, if you can look at your sexuality deeply and have these really vulnerable experiences, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
You can really conquer a lot, and you know yourself better too for that. And I think that says a lot. And I think that is the reason that I got through as much as I did. Another very unorthodox situation. It was basically underground dinner theater, invite only. We didn't market. We went and friends talk to friends, and it was kind of Eyes Wide Shut themed. Which have you seen that movie, Jess?
No.
Eyes Wide Shut. So, basically, it's your servers are masked and they wear white doily aprons and a black skirt and a white server top, and everyone's pretty much dressed the same, again, masked, and guests come in.
Not COVID masks. Like
On their eyes.
Masquerade
On their
masks.
eyes. Masquerade
No.
masks. So funny.
You have to define that these days.
You have to, right? Didn't even think of that. And so, yeah, guests sit down and they start with just a nice, like, hors d'oeuvre. And, and servers do little dances to serve you the food. It's very, like, dinner theater. And
What are
it's
they,
fun
like,
and playful.
Sexy dances?
So yeah,
like erotic?
At first it's fun and playful, and with like a like flirting with flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the server takes off her top.
Oh, surprise.
And she has just a nice lacy bra underneath. And
Here's your dessert.
that wasn't even it. That's just the appetizer, girl.
Keep going. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
First course.
Then second course comes, and then slowly lose pieces of clothing until the servers are in bra, underwear, and still their white doily apron, and we just had a lot of fun, like, unfolding this different type of dinner theater. And
That sounds fun.
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I got to do this really cool thing with my boyfriend. I got to design a new business. We worked our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of those white doily aprons got bleached and pressed.
Disinfected and
and pressed and everything. Like, we did everything, and it was so much fun. It was so much work.
Who cooked the food?
I've never been more tired. Chris, my boyfriend at the time, cooked the food.
So you guys would come up with an inclusive menu, and that was it.
Like, at the first, I think the very first dinner was actually friends that I had lived with previously. They were involved with Burning Man. Like, they ran Burning Man, and
is that a festival?
Yeah, it's a festival in the desert.
Okay,
every September, I want to say. And so first we did it for them, and then it was just all word of mouth. Like, their friends talked to their friends, and then we just kept having new fun people.
And did you guys make good money off this?
We made no money off of it. So flash forward to FBI. Recently, randomly got a phone call from the FBI saying, we heard that you lived with these crazy people in this crazy cult, and we want to hear more. And I was like, oh yeah, so these people, this thing, and let me tell you all about it. And very innocently thinking, like, well, I'm just going to help them get information that they probably already have because it's very accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And then we scheduled an interview for them to actually come in and talk to me, and just that time of processing, like, oh shit, okay, so I'm gonna be talking to the FBI about this cult that I lived in, and I don't think I'm ready for it, because I don't really talk about this stuff very often. It's not something that I didn't realize it until I was thinking about it. I don't think I'm ready to process everything I went through. It's a lot of things that honestly I'm like, I have a little bit of shame around.
Do you think that you were ever taken advantage of?
I do, 100%. Yeah, I was manipulated a lot, and I see exactly where I was manipulated. And yeah, there's some shame around it, and there's some things I need to work through on my own to figure out like what happened.
I mean, like, I'm going to ask the obvious question, because the FBI is investigating you at this point. Were there crimes that were committed?
So they're not investigating me.
Not investigating you, sorry. The cult.
Yeah, they're investigating the cult.
What did you guys call yourselves? Did you guys have a name?
No.
Okay, we'll just call it the sex cult.
Sure.
Okay, so...
Oh, the name of the community?
Yeah.
It's called One Taste.
Okay.
So y'all look it up if you want.
Okay.
It's fucking weird.
But yeah, I mean, in your like personal opinion, do you feel like there's crimes being committed?
I would say that there were some mishaps. I don't know about crimes. So I wasn't around for a lot of the crazier things that I've been hearing, so I can't speak on it. But essentially it was like just trading sex for money. People would...
Prostitution?
I guess so. Yeah.
I think that's the definition of prostitution.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's just a gray area, and I'll
Okay.
explain it, because
Okay.
Basically One Taste would make their money off of workshops, of transformational workshops.
What's that mean?
Like I don't know, like you go to a workshop for meditation, or you go to a workshop to like learn about yourself. So like a class, like a weekend long class.
Like how we go to yoga.
Sure. Yeah. Like a yoga retreat or something like that. So it's like a full weekend.
A sexual yoga retreat.
Yeah. That's pretty damn close.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess there came a time when they would charge like tens of thousands of dollars for these sexual yoga retreats. And that's all I know. And there was apparently a promise that if you took this workshop, then you would get like an orgasm, or you would get to have sex with this person or something.
So it was like promise.
This is all hearsay. Yeah. Because I was not around during those times.
Do you know, you don't have to name them, but like high-end, important,
People?
rich clients?
I know that they worked with Goop, so Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
There's an article on the Goop website about them, and Gwyneth Paltrow was involved. I think at one point, Courtney, one of the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian, was involved.
No shocker there.
I guess so. I don't know. So yeah, I think there were a lot of high profile names involved at a certain point, because they tried to get into the mainstream media. I mean, they did everything they could to get into mainstream media. I mean, when I was involved, we were in the New York Times, and we actually set up our phone lines because we thought that we were going to get like an influx of like hundreds of calls. And so we like did all this crazy stuff with our phone lines. Not one person called. Article. Big disappointment. Yeah, so I think they were grasping at straws at one point, and they just got a little money hungry.
I mean, it sounds like it sounds pretty bad. It sounds
not great.
Like not great. Yeah, it's yeah.
So yeah, sitting back on it after talking to them initially, I was like, I actually don't know a whole lot about like the shit.
The stuff that they want to know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So called him back, said, I don't think I'm your girl. Like, I don't have a whole lot to give here.
You can just tell the FBI no, thank you.
Yeah, and then they can subpoena me if they want to, which is fine. Like,
Did you say that?
No, because I'm not gonna like dare them to subpoena me. But I'm perfectly willing to talk. I just don't want to.
If you don't have to.
Yeah, I just don't want to revisit certain parts of my life right now. There's some therapy that will be involved before I do that.
Yeah.
Which they offered me.
The FBI?
Yeah.
Well, fucking thanks.
Yeah. They were like, well, if it's too much, we do have a therapist that you can work with.
Oh,
and I was like,
they're
that's
so sweet.
Nice. No.
They're so sweet. Mm-hmm. Let us dig into your mind and bring up all this suppressed emotions and
let's trigger the shit out of you.
Let's trigger you and then let's fix you.
Well, who knows? They could just leave me broken on the side of the road too. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, I know I wouldn't.
They're not invested in me.
Okay, bye. Thanks for the info. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just like one tasted.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
So how, if you don't mind me asking, how long ago was that when the FBI contacted you?
That was not long ago, maybe like 3 months ago.
Have you heard any follow-up after that? Have you like contacted anyone or done any research on your own to see if there was anything that you could pull up online about?
Yeah. There's a couple things going on with that. One of my dear friends that I still keep in contact with from those days, he's doing a movie or a docuseries with, I want to say, Netflix.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah. With one of those big time like mainstream media.
What else do I want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to say too, like going on in a slightly different direction, like moving to the suburbs doesn't mean that we don't get to have the luxuries of living in the city. Like, I learned from being in San Francisco that I love community. Mm-hmm. And then I learned that I can have that in Philly. And then I'm now learning, like, hey, I can have that here too. Mm-hmm. Like, no, we're not like right next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, but I can still consider you part of my community. Mm-hmm. And so I'm super excited about maybe creating a kickball league. And
fuck yes.
Like, let's all play some kickball on like a Friday night. Let's all get together.
I'm down.
And shed the worries from the week and the stress of the week.
Shit out of some balls.
Yeah, kick some balls, man. Who doesn't want to do that? And it's going to be like the nicer days of the year. Let's just have some fun. Get our toddlers there too. Yeah. They can,
push them off to the side that they don't get to play.
Right. This is
adults
a competitive
only
sport.
Like, I will run you down.
Let's do it.
Don't fucking get in my way.
Ass.
I don't care how old you are. I will kick you in the face. Get out of my way.
Exactly. And
I feel bad for my kids.
And you know what? Holden will be more competitive because of
he will be a better man. Got to break him down a little bit and let him build themselves up.
Poor kid has a black eye.
This kid. Well, we were counting his boo-boos. Here's a boo-boo, here's a boo-boo, here's a boo-boo. Boys are crazy. But yeah, today he was playing with sticks. Don't buy him toys ever, by the way, if you want to give him anything. Sticks, rocks,
some dirt,
and like worms.
Yeah.
Kid was on the back porch the other day rolling worms like Play-Doh.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and then he brings it to me and it's like in pieces. You wait until you have a boy. It's like in pieces. And so I explained, like, Bubba, these are good for Mama's garden. You want to take care of them. You want to be respectful of all living creatures. Plays a very big role in our ecosystem. And he just goes, okay, well, I'll put it back. And I was like, well, dude, he's fucking dead now. Like, he's in like 5 pieces.
It's like fertilizer, I guess. Oh my God.
Where are we going with that?
Disgusting.
It's
Boys,
cool.
Kids,
I love it.
Kickball. So community. So I realized we can bring community with us.
How did we get to worms?
Oh, I know.
Sorry.
So weird.
Sorry.
You're crazy. So, yeah, I think that we can have the luxuries of the city here in the country as well. We can have community. We can have like fine food, and I mean, I've been cooking way more than I ever have during this pandemic.
But that's fun
so
too.
It is beginning to be really fun.
Yeah.
And hey, now I can have my own garden. I can grow my hydroponic lettuce or whatever the fuck we do here. Still can't keep a succulent alive, but I can.
You put them outside, it's pretty self-sufficient. Like they do their own work. They grow.
That's what you say, but
I'll help you. Got you, Bo.
Can't figure this shit out.
But yeah, so that's really exciting. But too, so kickball, but so your husband, kind of like with my husband, starting this podcast, you know, especially going through the pandemic and like working 9 to 5 and having kids and, you know, Jay kind of felt this sense of like urgency to be creative and do something like, you know, productive and have fun. And so he reached out. And, you know, him and Mike ended up putting this podcast together and, you know, spend a lot of nights down here.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm being patient with, you know, kind of holding down the fort, you know, upstairs with the kids while he's down here trying to do his podcast. But, you know, and piecing everything together. But it's been so healthy for him to have just some sort of like sense of like community, sense of outreach and accomplishment and creativity and, you know, just having fun with it too. Like, you know, obviously we're down here having cocktails, like talking about like sex and
nice, right?
It's so much fun. Nobody's has broken down the door in a good hour. We've been down here.
Yeah.
Nobody is bothering us.
Yeah.
We should do it more often.
Let's do it. Let's
like
have
every
our
week.
own podcast.
I know. Let's do it like 5 times a week.
Yeah. Oh, can we do like a bathtub podcast where we have like our own bathtubs down here and we just like soak and have bath bombs and wine
and drink wine and podcast?
Yeah.
It's good acoustics in the bathroom. I sing all the time. I know.
Yes. Let's do it.
But
we'll
yeah,
do
so
facials, like mud masks in the bath.
But yeah, so giving Eric, you know, kind of like a jumping off point to, you know, reach out and meet new people and have something to do that's fun.
It's been so great.
Yeah, you don't have to really think too much. It's just you show up and you kick some balls and it's so healthy. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be really healthy for him.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of meeting the right people. I think everybody wants that community, especially now. I feel like being isolated in your house for so long and told that you can't do something and you can't talk to these people and you can't do this thing with these people.
Literally, like you can't see anybody.
And now that like people are starting to be vaccinated and things are getting a little bit more lenient and relaxed, I think it's like, okay, I want to talk to everybody possible. I want to talk to all the people
and their mothers
right now. Yes. Like, let's all be friends.
Yeah.
And like I feel like everybody's like that. You go to the grocery store and you're like, how are you? Oh, I'm so good. Tell me about your mom and your sisters and everything and your dog. How's your dog?
Yeah.
And you just like want to talk to people. It's exciting.
Yeah, everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Sense of community. Yeah, it's really healthy. It for sure is. We have it. I mean, Bryce's baseball, you know, the boys have been playing together for 9 years now. Yeah. And so like these boys we've grown up with and the families we've grown up with and hardships, we've had hard seasons, great seasons, you know, great games, injuries. We've lost some people along the way and gained some great ones. And, you know, the sense of like commitment that these kids have to each other and that like we as parents have to like their team is just absolutely amazing. It's an amazing feeling. I mean, they played the game today and I was like that psycho mom on the sidelines, like, yeah, that's my boy. Like, get it. I was jumping up and down. I peed myself a little bit. Like, I was so excited. Yes. It was just such a great game. But I were so happy. And two, like seeing the boys like laughing and, you know, cheering for each other. And it was absolutely amazing. And it continues to be absolutely amazing. And we're really blessed to have found this amazing baseball team and their coaches. And, you know, yeah. So I hear you. Yeah. But that's like kind of going back to this whole pandemic. Like, could I take that away from my kid?
Yeah.
Like, do I want to take that away from my kid? Like, risk versus reward, right? Like,
yeah,
I can't shelter him the way that like some people have sheltered their kids through this pandemic. Like, I emotionally cannot do that to myself, but I can do it to my kid. Like, you break him down, right? Like, he's at such a crucial age.
Definitely.
13 is hard.
Yeah.
Like, 13 is when you start thriving and really finding yourself. And, you know, I can't even imagine like the psychological long-term effect that we've embedded into like these kids' head, like from this past year. So
yeah, it's crazy. And just having, I lost my train of thought.
Moving on.
Oh no. So yeah. And then, so making that risk versus reward decision and thinking like, okay, is it okay that we play baseball outside? Yeah. Now we know it's probably okay to play baseball outside. Before we didn't know.
Yeah.
Anything. We thought it was like by touching things. And
I know. And then the media is just mainstreaming everything and like, I don't want to say blowing it up because, you know,
everybody, I mean, they do. They all have their own tactics and techniques to like get people's attention, and it's not great.
It had my attention. I literally at one point like wore gloves to the grocery store and like wiped everything down with like Clorox wipes.
I know. I feel like we're going to be talking about this in like 10 years. Like, remember when we all used to wipe our groceries with bleach?
Like a cereal box.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry. Not many viruses can live on a cereal box. Like,
but we know that now.
Now we know that. I feel like we knew that before, but we were so scared.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, was I willing to take that risk? Now I look back and I'm like,
yeah.
I remember like even masked walking through the grocery store, I would like hold my breath. Like walking past people, I would like, don't breathe in.
Oh my God. Isn't it so funny when you're somewhere? I don't know if you have this, but when you're somewhere and someone sneezes and you're like, Corona.
And then you're like, oh wait, it's allergy season.
Yeah, like
I'm an asshole.
I just sneezed like 5 minutes ago. And, yeah. But and then like I sneeze and I'm like, oh shit, everyone thinks I have Corona.
My car is covered in pollen.
Oh, I know.
Nobody thinks you have Corona. It just, everybody knows it's allergies at this point.
It's just allergies. Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I feel like now we know a lot more than we did, and now it's a lot easier to move forward and make the right decisions, be conscious of it. Yeah.
I mean, but too, make your decision for yourself. Like, it's your body.
Yeah.
Can't force you to do anything.
Yeah.
What about, you want to talk about motherhood? Yeah, so I'm an open book when it comes to, you know, just pretty much letting the world know how much, like the awful truth about, you know, how much it really just fucking sucks to be a mom.
It's hard.
It's so hard. It's the most, literally the most rewarding thing and the hardest thing that you will ever do in your lifetime.
Yep.
And I'm just super, super honest. Like, dude's acting like a little shithead right now.
Totally. But look back when we were little shitheads.
Oh,
I mean, tenfold.
Yeah. Now I know why I got my ass beat.
Because your parents had dark circles underneath their eyes and they just can't take it anymore.
Because they've had a fucking enough. And there was 4 of us. Like,
oh my God.
I have a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old. I have the best of both worlds right now.
Yeah.
Teenagers suck and toddlers suck. And then you put them together and it sucks ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the one wants to be left alone. The one wants to play. Don't touch my shit. I won't touch your shit. It's awful. Yeah. This kid room stinks like teenage sweat, and then this kid's room stinks like
boogers.
I don't know.
And poop.
I don't know what that smell is. That's the thing. I don't fucking know where it's coming from.
Mystery smells.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Mystery smells. And everything's sticky for some reason. Why is everything sticky in a toddler's room?
I thought you were talking about the teenager's room, and I was like, I don't want to go there.
No. Like, why are toddlers always sticky?
Because he rolls worms like Play-Doh on the back porch.
Gross.
Yeah. But yeah, so love my kids, but I'm also just kind of I'm like a super laid back mom. You pick and choose your battles. You don't want to wear pants today? I'm fine.
Yeah.
The world is going to have to accommodate to Holden today, because I'm not going to sit here and fight my kid tooth and nail to put his pants on, because it's not fucking worth it.
It's true. And it really is like picking your battles. Like, you don't need to like break the fuck down and like tear your hair out because your mom wants you to put your pants on. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, let's just move
for
forward.
your own sanity though too, right? Do you feel like it's healthy to sit there and argue with someone who's like literally not capable of thinking rationally?
Yeah.
Like give up.
Yeah.
Give up.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it.
And it's not dangerous. They're not going to get hurt or injured or
maybe
whatever. Because they don't have pants on.
Oh, not because of pants, but yeah. No, I agree.
Like,
no, I agree with you.
You don't need pants. You probably don't need shoes. Like, if you're in a place where it hurts to walk, that's when you need shoes.
Yeah, and you're going to realize that, and then you're going to come to me and be like, Ma, I think I need my shoes. And
right,
then
then
like,
you
can put your shoes on now. That's fine.
Cool.
But too, I mean, like, even just kind of like letting them go and like exploring. Like, we have a backyard. Ours is fenced, mind you. So there's not too much that he could, we're not terrified that he's going to walk in the middle of a street, right?
Yeah.
So we let him out and we let him explore. Like, go dig in the garden. Like, go flip over rocks. Go look for worms.
And that is so important for his age, too. Like,
it's like
exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah, it's a sense of independence. Like,
right.
He wants to go explore. And
right.
he wants to play with the hose. You want to play with the hose? Play with the hose. Let's get naked and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Get wet, head to toe. I don't care. Yeah. It's beautiful out. But yeah, it's just like for your own mental health, your mental well-being. You can't fight tooth and nail. Like, you can't fight for perfection. And I think that I did that with Bryce, my older one, who's 13 now, but I also see his anxiety because of it. Like, he
really tries. He tries
so hard, but he also gets like over emotional too. Like, when he feels like he does something wrong. And I think that was my fault because I had such high standards for him. When he was younger, and I pushed him so hard, and I think it created like this deep psychosis where like he seriously has like anxiety now because of it. And Holden, so I'm trying a different approach with Holden, like kind of like the more carefree. I mean, I smoke a lot more weed now, so that might have something to do with it, but it's like a carefree attitude. Like, stay up, to an extent, stay up late. Like, if you want to tell me when you're ready for bed, I would rather you tell me that you're ready for bed than for me to battle you to put a diety on and to go and brush your teeth and go upstairs and read a book and lay down when I know you're not tired and I know you're just going to come out of your room in 5 minutes anyway.
And Bryce is like, excuse me, why didn't you do this for me?
Yeah.
Why did I have to go to bed at
6:30? Your first, I know, your first child's like your guinea pig. Like, you're just kind of figuring out like what kind of parent you want to be, right? And like, really, like, you've never done this before, so you don't know what's right, and you take information from the internet and advice from everybody else in your life, but like, the kind of person and kind of parent you want to be is to be determined, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna figure it out. And I know that I want to be like that chill, cool, relaxed mom because I can't handle it with my anxiety, like walking behind him, making sure that he doesn't fall, or like, I can't handle that. I want him to
take care of yourself too.
Yeah, I want him to have a sense of like adventure and curiosity and independence. And if Holden, that is him in a nutshell. Like he just wants to be free. He's like that naked little hippie baby.
He really is. He's so cute.
That loves being outside and loves nature and loves living things.
Happy.
And he's so happy.
Yeah.
So happy. And we have our boundaries, which you have to set. But it's not that I don't want a repeat of like what I did to Bryce, but having the opportunity to have my kids so far apart, like I kind of see the outcome of it, right? I don't want to do that to Holden.
Yeah, it's great. And I think there's definitely a lot to be said about that too. Like he knows your boundaries because they don't happen every 5 seconds. Like when you say no, it means no.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you just say yes.
Yeah. Or like, cool, do whatever you want, buddy. Like,
right.
Go be naked.
He listens to you. And I think for that, he's happier and he can, like you were saying, he has that sense of independence and curiosity, and he can just kind of run with it and play on his own and do what makes him happy. And I think that's going to like really show in the long run, and I think it's gonna be really cool to watch.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool to watch him
grow up. Yeah, absolutely. And now I'm thinking about it, like as far as punishment, like he's 3. You see 3 as like a shittier, terrible 2, right?
Yeah,
they're smarter, they're more manipulative, but I don't have to punish him. I just thought of this. I'm like, I really do not have to punish Holden. There is very rare instances where like I can't talk him through something, or like give him the opportunity to like feel his feelings and then come to me when he's ready to talk about something.
Yeah, I don't think punishment ever really works either. It just teaches them to hide whenever they think they're gonna get punished.
Yeah. I have to punish Bryce now because sometimes as a teenager you don't take care of your responsibilities, right? So that's a little different. We're talking about like emotionally.
Yeah.
But when Bryce was younger, like I didn't spank him very often, but like I did. I would put him over my knee and I would pull his pants down and I would spank his high knee. And it didn't happen very often, but he knew that if he fucked up, he was getting a spanking. And it got to the point where, like, mind you, I didn't have to do it a lot, so don't think that I beat my children or anything. It got to the point where Bryce was just like, I know it's going to happen, so I'm going to avoid that. Like, I'm going to avoid that behavior because I don't want to be in trouble. Like, I don't want to. But I wouldn't even have to spank him after like, you know, whatever, long time.
It's the threat of it.
I was like, the idea of it, like, I would just have to say, or like give him that look, like, do you want to be spanked? And he would be like, fuck no. Like, all right, I'm going to turn it around right now. Yeah, so it was like I instilled the fear in him almost. And like my parents growing up, I just got the shit kicked out of me. Like it didn't, you know what I mean? Like but then that was a different generation too. Like,
it's true. And then what they went through too. Oh my God.
It was even worse. It was even worse. Yeah.
I think we learned a lot about punishment in our generation. Like we've really evolved in that way. Like, yeah, I got spankings too. And I will never, that's not even something that I will, that my kid will ever know about.
Yeah.
'Cause it didn't work.
It didn't work. You still fucked up. You were still bad.
I fucked up. I hid it. And I made excuses. I lied, whatever needed to be done to not get a spanking. And it doesn't work. And there's there's evidence now to prove it. I've read the books. I'm a new parent, so I've read all the books, and I know that it doesn't work, and it's not the kind of mom I want to be. So.
Yeah. So I was 19 when I had Bryce.
Young. Yeah.
I was young. Yeah. So, you know, for me growing up, literally still growing up and trying to raise this human, I was learning. And like you are
and so alone too. Like no one wants to be around that. That's not fun when you're 19.
Yeah. I mean, no, I had great friends. I had great friends,
good.
great family. Yeah.
Hard.
So it was like, it wasn't like I was outcasted or anything. Like, you know, Bryce grew up with me. We went camping together.
Yeah.
We did all that fun stuff together. You know,
Yeah.
I was young, you know, and he was just there along for the ride.
So you guys could be buds.
Yeah. And we still are to this day.
Yeah.
Got to draw a line somewhere. Like that's schoolwork for me. You do your schoolwork, you can pretty much do whatever else you want. You just take care of your responsibilities. But I mean, yeah, product of my environment, I didn't know how else to do this parenting thing. Like, so punishment for me was a spanking, right? It's like, that's all I knew. That's all I knew growing up. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then, I slowly learned, like, I don't have to get to that point. Wow. Crazy. I mean, too, you don't want to fuck your kids up because that is easy. You don't want to fuck them.
I feel like it's going to happen regardless. It's just like, which way are you going to
Which way are you going to fuck them up? Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. So exciting to see, like, you know, where they go from here.
Yeah.
But they do suck. So you have to remember. At the end of the day, like, take care of you and your inner circle with, like, you and your husband. Because if that circle falls apart, then, like, you are going to have a very hard time, you know, raising good humans. So just make sure that, like, you are happy and take care of yourself and
have that good sex.
Great sex. Yeah.
Make it hot.
Yeah. Make it hot. Keep them happy.
Yeah.
Keep yourself happy. I learned from you a lot of self-care. So if I'm not getting something that I want or need or can get from my husband, you know, in that very moment, like, do it for yourself. Yeah. Find a different way to make yourself happy. You know, whether that's getting a pedi or taking an hour to go shopping or, you know, getting your hair done. Just something, anything. It's taking a walk.
Fill up your cup.
Yeah, go to the gym. Like, find your me time.
Yeah.
Find your self-care time, and you know, keep your shit together.
Love yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep your shit together. Because at the end of the day, like, you're fucking taking care of everybody else. Exactly. So if you lose it, you know, everyone's on their own.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
Yep. Take care of your mama.
If you would like to tell your story on 2Ds and an F, email us at 2Ds and an F podcast at gmail.com. That's TWODSANDANF podcast at gmail.com. For episode segments, extras, and upcoming guest interviews, check out 2Ds and an F podcast pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Full-length episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, and just about everywhere other podcasts are found. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The 2Ds and an F podcast is a Done Sound production.